Welcome to another episode of Next Stuff. Today with us, we have our very good friend, Adela Schulz. Adela, how are you?
Very well. Thank you, Dario. How are you?
Not bad. It's Friday, so we won't complain. So happy Friday, by the way.
Happy Friday.
Due to the fact that we partner on many projects in the past, we really consider you as a very open-minded person when it comes to new approaches in pharma. So really, frankly speaking, in any case, I think that customer experience plays an essential role for you. And let's start with that particular theme. So my first question would be, why actually customer experience matters in the whole transformation process, and why we are going but we are doing it actually in the wrong way and direction nowadays.
Yeah, thank you for this very good question. So I would say first and foremost that it depends. So I guess it will depend by industry and by company, actually, to what extent customer experience matters in their digital business transformation. If I speak on our behalf, in our case, customer experience is really at the heart of everything we do in our transformation. Actually, we have this as part of our vision statement. So we pursue our patient value ambition. So we aim at bringing our medicine to more patients through a more individualized and valuable customer experience. So this is really the vision statement of our digital business transformation. And what I can say, really based on my experience in my current company, but also in previous lives, it is something that we need to repeat and keep top of mind on an everyday basis as we go through the change management process. So, as an example, when we talk about multi-channel field representatives, it is not about checking the box that I'm doing a certain amount of face-to-face calls and a certain amount of remote calls, and I send a certain amount of approved emails. No, it's about starting with the customer. So thinking, okay, most of the times, as a field representative, I would want to see my customer face-to-face, but then on other times, because it's early in the morning, late in the evening, a remote call may make more sense to my customer. Or after visiting my customer, it may make sense for the benefit of him retaining what we discussed to send a summary of what we discussed with maybe a link to read more information. So always about the customer. Similar when we talk about paid media. It's not about doing paid media or having a LinkedIn account or whatever because to check the box, because we also need to have it. But it's because we want to meet our customers where they are in their sort of ecosystem and environment. And I think one of the things that I love about digital is that it really gives us the opportunity to capture that valuable first-party data, those customer insights that support continuous personalization. So you kind of get into this virtuous circle, right? So you gather data and then you continuously learn about what your customer likes, dislikes, content channels, and you can further improve to meet their needs.
Exactly. Very interesting. So let's deep dive even further and become even more concrete. So my next question would be, what and from which industries can pharma learn or be inspired?
Yeah, I guess top of mind would be, yes, from Amazon and Netflix, etc. But I would say from most of the brands around us. I think we just need to walk through life with open eyes. And perhaps the first thing that we need to do is stop with this dichotomy, digital and non-digital. Actually, a former colleague of mine was saying, who was coming from outside pharma, that he'd never heard the word digital being mentioned so much as it is in pharma. It's really our current world is a mix of them both, and we can't even separate them like this or constantly ask ourselves, what we should do more or less, or if, or measure impact of digital or of that. So yes, it's a mix. We live in a hybrid world, and I would say that the better we manage to orchestrate this mix, the more successful we are in our customer engagement. And what I always say to the teams is that healthcare practitioners, if we talk about them as customers, in this case, of course, patients as well, they are consumers like us, just like us. And so that's where just walking through life with open eyes helps. As an example, we all register for webinars where we think that the topic is interesting. And, even if we really want to join on the day, the time where the organizer decided to have the webcast happen, we may simply not be able to do so, or we may need to deprioritize it. But then how nice is it to actually get that email with the recording in your inbox, and to know that, for example, on a weekend when you go for a walk, you can simply listen to it, so you're not missing out on it. Also, how nice is it when, to take again the webinar example, you maybe get the highlights of it. And if you don't have time, and if you're more of a, I want just the gist of it type of person, you just get those, and you get the most important knowledge pills without all the clutter around it. Or other example, we all were continuously on our LinkedIn, Twitter feeds, etc., and being pushed information that is in line with our preferences, right, in our feed, that we would otherwise not know about, and then being able to easily access it, be it the latest report about digital business transformation from McKinsey or Boston Scientific Group or whatever, being able to easily access it and read it in a seamless experience is just nice. So that's where I think that yes, learning from all these brands around us and from our own experience and what we like and dislike should be also a driver in what we want to achieve in the engagement with our customers.
Thank you, Adela. Very interesting answer. Next question: can you give some simple steps and rules of starting a proper customer experience journey in pharma? Yeah. So yes, let me try to do so. First and foremost, I think we need to stop over focusing on channels. And really, as customer experience says, do a bit like what Amazon preaches. So customer first, customer obsession, right? It's one of their 14 leadership principles. I think it's their leadership principle number 1. Customer obsession, everything starts with the customers, everything else comes after the customer. And so that's, I think, what we need to do to really start focusing much more on the customer, and also not on what we would like to sell them, but what their actual needs are, and understanding our customers beyond seeking to understand them beyond the traditional segmentation models in pharma, really to the level of sort of persona archetype, what they see, hear, feel, think, what their wants are, their unmet needs, their jobs to be done. So primarily, the first step, I would say, is really this mindset step of understanding that we are here to serve our customers. Then secondly is working on skill set and tool set. So how can we actually, through data, understand our customer preferences and start capturing those behavioral insights, really thinking about all our different engagements and how through them, be it through observational data capture, be it through, of course, all in line with GDPR, be it through form fills, how can we get those insights that we need to then be able to better personalize. And then I would say next, so putting this infrastructure in place that allows us to gather empirical customer insights. But then another step, which sounds quite straightforward, but it's not always straightforward, is taking the time to go back to that data and understand it, make sense out of it. And of course, there need to be processes that allow to, and tool set that allows to do that, right? Making sense out of big data. But doing that, so capturing the data and then also making sure that you actually take the time to understand it and to apply it in your next engagement is also absolutely critical. And that's not always easy, right? Because, for example, marketing automation. I mean, marketing automation is there to facilitate a more sophisticated customer engagement, right? Because you can create different journeys based on previous data insights. But then, of course, if you do that, you also need to have more sort of content blocks that you're playing with, and that's the nice challenge and opportunity at the same time. And then maybe fourth thing is to also put an infrastructure in place that allows you to measure impact, going from leading indicators, which are often sort of more vanity metrics, to more lagging indicators. As we know, it's by far not easy to do the correlation.
not even for much more advanced industries than ours. But that's that would be, I guess, sort of my my recipe.
Thanks a lot, Adele. Sounds very promising and interesting. Let's try that recipe. So once again, thank you for joining the Next Stuff podcast, and looking forward to meeting you in Dubrovnik.
Well, thank you very much, Dario, for having me, and looking forward as well.